everybody. Welcome to a summer 2014 S.W.A.T review. My name is Kate, otherwise known as Narataki.
And I'm Alan, otherwise known as Hisui.
We are from ReverseThieves.com. You can go there to get other S.W.A.T reviews, as well as our monthly Speakeasy podcast, and 3+ blog posts every week. This time, we're looking at Nobunaga Concerto from Fuji TV, and it is streaming on Crunchyroll. And it's sort of one of those person transported to the past series. So this high school boy who is descendant from Nobunaga is what sort of implies. He basically falls through time. Happens really quickly. They don't spend too much time worrying about how it happens, and he falls back into the past of Nobunaga's time, and Nobunaga himself is like running away from his castle, and he's basically like, hey, you kind of look like me, do me a fave.
Do me a salad.
Yeah, that's better. And take this sword and pretend to be me. Peace.
And as you mentioned, Nobunaga's hair is jet black, but obviously, kid from the future, Saburo, he has slightly lighter hair. No one seems to notice that.
But they do notice his vastly changed personality, so thank goodness that, at least that's acknowledged, because it might be even weirder otherwise. So he gets taken back to the castle. They obviously think he is Nobunaga himself, and this is pre, doing any conquering or any of the sort of the bigger political things that people know about the historical figure.
Well, he's still seen as a sickly youth, so obviously most people don't have big ambitions for him. He tries to get away, but then he realizes, oh, Nobunaga is a total hottie for a wife.
So I guess I'll stick around. This is after he tries to fall back to the future and he can't figure it out. So the way that this series is executed is really kind of almost dull. The animation is really terrible, and not in just a cheap way. It's that cheap CG, the CG people thing.
Feels like this is a pretty well done Newgrounds video from the late 90s, early 2000s, isn't it? And you're like, oh no, it's from the modern day.
It looks so bad, and the characters' faces, the way their emotions come across, are very bland. It's really terrible. It's really distracting. There's a lot of horses in the series, and horse riding. It just looks so weird. Everything, a lot of movement just looks bizarre. So it's really distracting.
It doesn't help that the acting is really kind of flat. So, if there were some really good voice actors behind it, it might distract you from the CG. But everybody, especially Saburo, are really just and these are my lines, and I am saying them.
And I don't know if he's supposed to be funny, but it's just coming off really bland, and so it's just not a very interesting series. I mean, Saburo is also really confusing because he's just basically dicking around, and then the attendant is, I'm going to kill you. Literally, I'm going to kill you because you are an insane person. You have lost your mind. Your brain has been addled, and I'm just going to kill you. So he really goes and tries to do this, and then suddenly Saburo is like, you can't kill me because I have to conquer the world. And, we don't want to change history. I mean, yes? You didn't seem concerned about this at all. And then after this happens, you don't then seem concerned about it anymore. So it just felt incongruous.
It just seemed like they needed some reason for everybody to suddenly accept him, and they did it in the clunkiest way possible.
Also, his wife, her hair looks like weird South Park hair. I hated it so much. It was terrible to look at. It was this just big chunk that moved in one piece. It was so weird. I mean, I try not to judge shows by their animation, but there's no getting around it in this case. I feel like that happens a lot with these CG anime TV series where they're trying to do it as cheaply as possible. And it would almost be better if they were doing cheap 2D, a lot of cutaways, or it would just be so much easier to take in that sense. Also, maybe if the episodes were 10 minutes or 5 minutes or something, it was kind of uninteresting. Yeah.
It drags so much that it reveals all the flaws of the series and kind of weighs it down even more than it would have normally been. All right, I think that's pretty definitive. We'll see you guys later.